Well, you know, fall is really the peak season for home improvements, especially here in our beautiful valley. So what do we do and where do we start? Joining us now is Tom Kraeutler, host of radio's The Money Pit and the Money Pit podcast, and he's going to give us some tips. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be with you today.
Well, we're happy to be with you. I love the fact you've got a pumpkin there and you've got some great tips because, you know, a lot of folks don't realize that Palm Springs, as beautiful as we are with warm temperatures, we do get down to the high 30s in the winter, and so we have some fluctuation.
Yep.
How do we get started really now that we've, you know, gotten into fall and soon it'll be winter?
Yeah. You know, fall is a popular time of the year for home improvement projects, so we see a lot of cool products come out this time of year. Let me share two to start with. And that is, first of all, if you're ever going to put something together, I don't care if you're trying to install like a doorknob or a piece of IKEA furniture, when the screws start to strip, you're in trouble because you can't go forward and you can't go backward. Well, DAF now has a new product out called Tank Bond Liquid Grip. This stuff is impressive. You just put one drop of the Tank Bond Liquid Grip on the screw head, and you get 7 times more gripping power. So that stops the tool with the bit from slipping out and stripping it further. Works on screws you're driving in or those you're taking out, any type or size of fastener, and it cleans them very easily. Now, look, we never plan to strip screws, so that's why it's a good idea to have this around. Very inexpensive, $6.98. You'll find it at Lowe's. Another great new product is, I love these products that you think, how could they make it better? A watering can, you think, how can we change that? Well, check this out. Centurion brand has a foldable watering can. Now, why foldable? Well, first of all, the sides are transparent, so you can see how much water that you have in the watering can at any time. It will expand up to 1.5 gallons and then collapse as you use the water to save storage space. It's got a nozzle with 2 different positions, so you have multiple spray patterns, and it's got a folding spout, so when the spout is folded up, you can't spill water. You could drop this thing and no water would come out. I'm always leaking water between the faucet and the plants myself. So I love the innovation in this foldable watering can from Centurion Brands. $21.56. You'll find it at Lowe's.com, Amazon, Home Goods, and other great retailers.
Can I tell you, Tom, those are 2 of the best tips I have heard in a long time. First of all, I'm the queen of stripping screws, it seems. I'm constantly doing that. I'm so excited to hear about that product.
Right.
And, you know, here in the desert, a lot of us do live in small spaces. So what a genius idea to have a foldable flowering water pot. That is so genius. We talked about the fact that even though we have a beautiful landscape and outdoors here in the desert, we do come inside during the winter. So we start to nest, you know, as the temperatures change. So what are some good ideas for home improvement indoors?
LL Flooring just came out with something called Duravana. It's a whole new category of flooring. It's called hybrid resistant flooring. It has all the benefits that you need in a flooring product in one. It's scratch and dent resistant. So to check this, we did a very scientific test with my hammer. We banged on these boards in the studio to see if we could dent them, and we couldn't. And then we took a vibrating sander with a fresh pad and tried to sand the surface to see if it would stand up to scratches. It did. It didn't wear off a bit of that finish. So I was pretty impressed with that. And of course, you could drop this board in a pool and it wouldn't have any effect whatsoever because it's 100% waterproof. Not only is the board waterproof, but the seams, when you lock these together, the seam is waterproof. That means if you were to spill something big in the kitchen or overflow the tub, the water's not going to go through the seams of the floor into the subfloor below. It also looks great. You know, it looks just like real hardwood. It's eco-friendly, and it's very easy to install. So it's something you could knock out in a weekend. And best of all, it's only $4 a square foot, $3.99 exactly. You'll find it at LL Flooring's 420 stores nationwide, and also at llflooring.com.
Okay, Tom, these are all fabulous tips. I'm sold. I need you to come out here and help me with my house. Where can our viewers find you for more information, specifically you, Tom?
Yes, so the best way to follow us is through our podcast. Go to moneypit.com/podcast. We'll walk you through all the places that you can pick up the podcast. We do 2 new episodes a week, just in time to plan your next home improvement project. And if you've got questions about projects you're doing in your house, we take those calls 24/7 at 1-888-MONEYPIT. And if we're not in the studio, we will call you back the next time we are. I promise.
That's fantastic. Great advice. Thank you so much. I know our viewers are going to love these tips. I especially did as well. Thanks for joining us, Tom.
My pleasure, and happy fall.
You too. Thanks.